Yo, yo, yo. You're listening to Vice Tribe here on WTT Radio, Atlanta's #1 alternative live streaming radio show. It's your host, JefeJAP. I got your boy, Rashaad. Is it Rashaad or Rashaad?
Rashaad.
I'm sorry, Rashaad. With House of
Burghalie.
Burghalie in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. What about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing great. Glad you're here. You having a good weekend so far?
Yeah, it's pretty productive. I can't complain.
That's good. So you've been out and about. You said you got to go visit your family and stuff and do all that.
Yeah. Pretty much just working, getting ready for everything that's to come this year.
Okay. All right. Still starting off the year on a good note. That's good. All right. So before we get into House of Burghalie, let's talk about you a little bit. So you're from Thomasville, Georgia?
Yes, I am from Thomasville, Georgia.
Okay. That's like South Georgia?
It's real south, like real rural south.
Is that close to like Moultrie and Valdosta and all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like further south.
Okay, like more closer to the Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like it's probably like 30 minutes from Tallahassee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So how does a boy from Thomasville get to Atlanta, and then how does Burghalie come out of all that?
So my parents are actually from Atlanta.
Okay.
So my family is here. But they moved to Thomasville, I think, before I was born. And I went to Florida State.
Okay.
And when I was at Florida State, it's like it's very like, Florida State is by FAMU. And you know, HBCUs are very fashion forward, you know.
Yeah.
So they had these two modeling troupes. One was Images and the other one was Faces. And just seeing like how they moved on campus and everything like that, it kind of inspired me to want to create something where sort of like a social network for people involved in like fashion and media. So we started a club called the Burghalie Visual Arts Society, I think is what it was. Yeah,
Okay.
BVAS.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a help me, help you type of club. So you had like a photographer who wanted to like be a professional photographer, but he didn't have a portfolio. Well, there were also models who wanted to be like models, but didn't have content. So we would like come together and like help each other.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
So what was your major at Florida State?
Oh, my major changed like 15 times, but I finished as a double major in criminology and psychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then you got...
Oh yeah, sorry.
Good.
So it started out kind of as that, and then it grew into the clothing brand Burghalie, House of Burghalie.
Okay.
And then we recently kind of relaunched the nonprofit. Well, what was an organization as a nonprofit, the Burghalie Academy.
Okay.
So yeah, now we're here. I moved to Atlanta maybe a year and a half ago now.
Okay.
And within that first year, everything just took off. Yeah. So.
Okay. I've been seeing. Okay, so you started House of Burghalie
Right,
in 2017.
Yes,
2017.
that
and
is true.
And it's all a nonprofit.
So we're actually registered. So the Burghalie Academy is a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 tax exempt nonprofit, but it's an extension of the clothing brand.
Okay.
So we often operate together, and it's kind of hard to decipher the two because some people think like, oh, it's a nonprofit, or oh, it's just this, or oh, it's just that. But it's two separate entities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the actual brand.
Mm-hmm.
So are you the designer? Do you design the merch and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. I'm the designer and the creative director, so all of the designs pretty much I've designed. We recently brought on a few designers, and even people on our team will kind of give suggestions like, oh, that we need to do a hat with this, or oh, we need a shirt with that.
Okay.
But pretty much like the photo shoots, everything, I kind of do all that.
Okay. And then you worked with Alani Taylor.
I did.
Is she on your board of directors, or she just kind of like, how does she fit into you, and how did y'all meet? How did that start?
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. So she's not on our board of directors. We worked together collaboratively on the Atlanta Art Awards.
Okay.
And she was the event manager.
Okay.
But when I first moved here, we had a fashion show. I first moved here, I did Fashion Week, and then when we came back, I was like, okay, I want to do like my own show, kind of how they had all the designers come together. So we started the Burghalie Resort, and for that, I was just reaching out to different designers in Atlanta, and she was one of the designers that I reached out to. So honestly, when I reached out to her, I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
When I was talking to her, like I'm talking to her, not like talking down on her, but just explaining things that she clearly already knew. But she never like stopped me and was like, I know, like she didn't come off like any weird way or anything. So then after she said something, I like Googled or looked up her Instagram, because I think somehow I had her email first. So I'm scrolling, I see Beyonce, Cardi B, Nick Cannon, the baby. I'm like, whoa, who was I just talking to?
Yeah.
So, but she never really gave off that like, okay, like I'm above you, so I don't need to do your show. You know, she still like worked with me. She still like everything I expected of everybody else. She still did it. And after that show, she was like, hey, I want to meet your team. And then I was like, what team? Because I just moved here, so I didn't have like a team or anything. There were people helping with the event because they saw me just running around crazy. But I didn't have my team anymore. So she was like, oh, well, you did all of this yourself? Basically, I was like, yeah, like, I mean, it was me. And she was like, you know, if you did this by yourself, then I would love to see what you could do with a team behind you. And then that's when she brought me on as a part of the lab, which is her retail and manufacturing space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So just back on, well, we'll talk about more a little bit nonprofit later. So that's House of Burghalie. So Burghalie, so you got the Fashion Awards, that's part of it. Then you have the Burghalie Academy. Then you got the Burghalie brand. So those are the three. So, all right. So with the Burghalie Resort Fashion Competition, is your brand in that fashion competition, or what is that about? You bring different designers together and you kind of...
That's a good question. So our brand is not in the competition. Okay. This is the first show that I'm doing that we're not in it and still trying to run it at the same time. So I feel like it's going to be a lot less stressful. But the competition essentially is we are having a fashion competition where designers compete for a cash prize up to $10,000, a photo shoot with a celebrity photographer who I'm very excited about.
Can you say who that is?
Can I say who that is? I don't know if I can yet, because we're still waiting on a few things to be signed. But he's definitely someone that I feel like a lot of people would want to work with. And then a blog publication, and then aspiring models are competing for a billboard ad in Atlanta for our 2023 Art Awards, a campaign shoot with our brand, and a magazine spread. So yeah. And you are currently looking for models? Yes. So we're looking for designers and models still. The deadline is February 24th to apply. To me, it's like a no-brainer. Like, if you're a designer, you need money to fund your business. Like, why wouldn't you? What do you have to lose? And then even with designers, like, it's just a good opportunity. I mean, not designers, models. It's a good opportunity to just have yourself like published in magazines and like on a billboard. Like, that's something to brag about too.
Right.
Yeah.
So how many designers do you normally have in the fashion show? How many did you have last year? And do you plan on having the same amount this year or more?
That's a good question. I want to say it was like 10 last year for the resort. I know for the Art Awards weekend, we had a fashion show too. We had 12 designers at that show. So for this show, we're looking for 12, but we might cap it around 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because timing and everything. And
And it's getting kind of close.
Okay, and then for models, so they apply. So what are they giving you, like their looks, like their?
Yeah. So the and I'm glad you asked about this. The application for the models, they're giving like their information, Instagram, headshots, comp card, and everything like that. But the competitions are running simultaneously, but they look different. So for the designers, it's like you apply and then you just have to present 6 looks at the fashion show.
Okay.
But for the models, after they're accepted, they basically compete. Well, yeah, they have different challenges every week, sort of like America's Next Top Model.
So how long does it last?
Yeah, it's like for the models, it starts March 3rd up until April 6th, which is the show. For the designers, it's kind of like, it's the whole time they're designing, but we're not going to see their presentation until the show. Okay. So it's kind of like both of those are running at the same time.
So it happens the week of Fashion Week, because don't that happen in April? Is it April?
No, Fashion Week is actually next week. Yeah.
Is
it? Spring, I want to say, it's usually around like February 12th and September 12th, spring and fall.
So it happens twice a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really, the spring one isn't as popular, so a lot of people don't know. But,
and see, that's the one I know about.
More spring? Really? Oh, wow. I didn't even, when I first found out about it, I was like, I didn't even know. I thought it was only in the fall. Okay. But then I saw something about spring, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is like a thing. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I would be interested in being a model. I'm gonna have to look at the application.
Come on, go show yourself, everybody.
I like fashion, and I like, who does? I guess some people don't like dressing up, but it's fun to me. So, okay, that's what's up. And then if I don't, I might apply, and then if not, at least we'll attend. I would like to be in the building.
We're gonna have to have.
You probably have media people there too, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we definitely, if you don't apply, then you should definitely come on media purposes.
Okay, I'll be there one way. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, one way or another.
Okay, cool. All right, so the Atlanta Art Awards. So when is that?
So the Atlanta Art Awards weekend is the weekend before Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when it was last year, and that's when we're anticipating this year.
So that's in October.
Yeah, October. I don't want to lie. Okay. The weekend before Halloween.
We got a long time before.
Yeah. We got a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how does that work? So the Art Awards, is that like designers and people that you're giving that live in Atlanta, or they could be from any? How does that work?
So who
are the nominees?
The nominees, yeah. So the nominees for the Atlanta Art Awards are people that are either from or are in Atlanta.
Okay.
But it's like a 3-day weekend thing. So we had the fashion show, which was at the City Hall. It was really dope.
Okay.
We had the empowerment brunch, which was at the lab, the space that Alani Taylor owns.
Okay.
And then we had the actual awards show at the Fox Theater, which was pretty dope.
Okay.
But that is for people that live in Atlanta, bringing recognition to them and kind of putting them in a space with like real industry professionals. Okay. Like we had Bobby Valentino, Tammy Rivera. We had Kellen Derrick, who's Megan Thee Stallion's hairstylist, and Missy Elliott and a bunch of other people.
Okay.
So he was pretty dope. And just a lot of celebrity stylists. We had Zoe Dupree, who's Lil Keith's stylist and manager. So just connecting, something like that. But connecting people with, putting them in a space where like this is an opportunity that you just don't come across all the time. So
cool. All right. So that's in October. That'll be nice too. I might be in the building for that too.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come to something because
we're
here now.
Yeah, we got that. So how many awards is there? How many categories?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it was 7.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like model, designer, photographer, artist, and then 2 of them, makeup artist. And then some with a trailblazer, and then one was like a recipient award or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then, so in the midst of this, with the brand, Burghalie, how many lines do you create in a year?
That's like the problem I'm having right now. Like, it's so hard to do all of it at one time. Like my team right now, they're like, oh, okay, so like the spring drop, like what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to do this fashion show, like I don't know. Like, are y'all gonna make it? I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I don't know. It's really just I try to do at least like spring, fall. But if that doesn't work, like this year, it'll more than likely just be like fall, because we're working on a specialty item to release for the spring instead of doing like a collection of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. So with your nonprofit, the Burghalie Academy, do you write grants? Are you a grant writer?
Yes, I was just working on it.
It's not easy.
It's not. It's really not. You want to know something that's so funny? I was just working on a grant with Fulton County for the community service project, and that grant was like 30 pages long. And I got to the end, and I was uploading everything. I finished the grant, like the grant was done and typed everything. And I got to the end and they wanted me to have like an e-verify something to assure that I was like, our employees weren't like immigrants working illegally or something. So I went to, but you have to make an account or something for it. So I went to make an account and then they couldn't verify my information, and then I was on the phone on hold for 3 hours and I missed the deadline.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. I was mad. Yeah, it was 30 pages. But I mean, it's okay. I can still use the information for something else. But yeah.
Okay, so you write grants, and then your board of directors. How many people are on your board of directors?
Currently, we have 4 active. 4 active. Yeah.
Do you have a diverse board? Men and women?
It's there.
Different nationalities.
Men, women. They are all like of brown descent, but they're not all African American. Like one of our board of directors is Indian, and then another guy is Bengali, which is from Bangladesh. So yeah.
Interesting. And your nonprofit, so what is that about in the Burghalie Academy? Because I watched you, I went to your website, I saw your presentation and everything, so it looks like you teach kids and do different things with the youth in the community.
Exactly, yeah. So the Burghalie Academy is basically an organization, a nonprofit clearly, that advocates for at-risk youth by providing like access to education, youth development opportunities, and healthy alternatives to behavioral challenges. And those healthy alternatives typically look like modeling, sewing, clothing design, different stuff like that. We're kind of shifting from just focusing on at-risk youth to just more of just communities in general. So providing services for like adults as well. So that's pretty much everything about that. I love the nonprofit like sometimes more.
So you love giving back, and you sound you like kids too.
Yeah, it's like really fun. Like my I went to my job before I just did this full time. I was a CPI, which is a child protective investigator. So like a social worker. Yeah. So I investigated like child abuse and different stuff like that. So it's pretty dope.
That's a hard job to have.
It is, but it's really rewarding though to know that you like really making a difference.
That's good.
Contrary to what it looks like on TV for social workers.
I'm about to say it looks like it sucks. Lastly with the nonprofit, did you start something in New York, or was it, because I know you mentioned like migrating it to Atlanta, or was it in, was it always in Atlanta, or did it start and then you migrated it to Atlanta?
Yeah, so it was in Florida.
Florida.
And then we came to Atlanta, and then we like finalized everything officially for Georgia.
Okay.
And yeah, I did go to New York. You did your research.
I
was in New York for a short period of time, but it's too expensive up there, so I came to Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, sir. So I like to ask my guests what their zodiac sign is. So what's your zodiac sign?
Oh Jesus.
I'm good at
You're good at
I usually ask it at the beginning, but
okay. What do I give? Like, what do you think I am?
Huh. I didn't think about that. If I had to guess, part of me want to say Scorpio, then part of me want to say Capricorn.
Okay, I'm a Cancer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Cancers are cool. They can be emotional. They're good
please.
people, though. They're good people, though.
Everybody thinks Cancer. I'm emotional, but not in like a crybaby emotional way.
Okay.
I'm very passionate.
Okay. So it's more like when you're in a relationship, that's when all that comes out. It doesn't just...
I feel like it's... See, I'm more of like a angry Cancer.
Okay.
Yeah. Like...
You'd be mad and just...
Yeah, like I'll be wanting to fight.
Oh.
But not now.
I would hope not now.
Grown, yeah.
Oh,
but you know,
older.
yeah, since I'm older now. But yeah, that's really what it would be. But nah.
So are you June or July?
July.
Okay.
Is that a good thing?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I feel like people say the Julys are worse.
Oh,
I feel like, but a Cancer is a Cancer.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have nothing against Cancers. Cancers are cool with me. I don't have no problem with Cancers. So, okay. So you have locks. So do I. How long have you been growing your hair?
Ooh. I think it's been. You're not gonna believe me, I tell you.
Huh? You said I'm not gonna believe you.
No. It's been like 10 years,
Okay.
like maybe longer than that.
So you've cut them?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I just when I first, because really I got it because I was in, I think maybe longer than 10 years, honestly.
Okay.
I was in school, like high school or middle school, going to high school, and I had like an afro. And my dad was like, "Oh, you need to do something with this. You don't ever want to do nothing with your hair." And he tried to make me cut it, but I knew if I had like some type of hairstyle, he couldn't make me cut it. So I was coming up here to visit my grandma that lives in Atlanta, and I had like that night I stayed up all night just put my hair in twists, and then I put a do-rag on getting up there, and when I got here I just took it off, and I was like, yeah, this is what it is, and I had it ever since. But I wasn't really taking care of it, so it wasn't growing. So that's why it's like I feel like shorter than it should. I feel like it should be your length.
It should be close because I'm at like 11. I'm around close to there. And then you see my size and stuff, so it would be even longer. But I'm like around like 11. It was 2011 when I started mine.
Yeah,
it's actually, it was like 12. That's like 12 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. Who's your favorite artist?
My favorite. What type of artist?
What do you mean? What type of artist?
Yeah, because you
tell me. Oh, you mean like hip hop or R&B?
Yeah.
Let's do both. Let's start with R&B.
My favorite R&B artist. Does Beyonce count?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll pause there right there.
Okay.
We'll get to the hip hop in a second. So I know you saw the Beyonce tickets.
I did.
Are you going?
I am.
Okay.
If I have to sell a house,
look,
if I have to sell my car, I'm gonna be in the Renaissance section. I'm not.
Oh, so you're really selling
house.
everything?
I'm selling everything. I'm gonna be there because a lot of people feel like she's overrated and this and that. I literally did an essay in college about why Beyonce was the best performer with the Formation tour.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really like I'm a fan.
So you've been to our concert before. This will be your first one.
This is my first one. So that's why I was like, I have to go before she just break a leg or something.
And that's what I said, but retire.
Yeah, retire or something.
I wanted to go, but I still gonna try to go. But once I saw those tickets, I was like, but yeah, it's a matter of if I want to put my money over there.
You just gotta do it. You only live once.
You do. And everybody that says they went, they say she does a great show. Like you can see that from TV, so I can only imagine being in a building what that's like.
Exactly.
Okay. Shoot, we might be going together. I don't know because nobody. I've mentioned it to people, but they're all like, the prices. I'm like, I don't want to go by myself, so I'm like, I got to get this together. But
Nah,
we got time because it's in August when she comes.
But
and
the
she got
tickets
two.
gonna go on sale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard they added a
She
second.
did add a
day.
show. I kind of saw that.
Yeah. I didn't keep going because I didn't want to get mad because I'm just like everybody buying all the tickets but I have like 3 friends that are also Beyonce fans and they was like talking about getting our tickets together and I'm just like that's not gonna happen. Like you just
at the same
when
time
when it opens, you just I hope you get
yeah.
yours and I hope I get mine.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Unless one of y'all like just
Do
collected
both.
the money and bought them all at the same
But see, if
time.
I'm buying like a $3,000 ticket, I'm not buying 3 of those. Like it's
Yeah.
not. That's just not gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but we'll
That's a
see.
lot. Okay. Okay. All right. Also, we still haven't gotten to devices yet. Before we get there.
Okay.
So you also, I saw you worked with T.I. Nelly and Jermaine Dupri for his party.
Mhm.
Y'all got to design the outfits. What was that like?
So Alani Taylor was like the lead
Okay.
designer on the project. We all were kind of like assistants to the project. But it was really, really dope. It was such a fun experience. When they came into the building, it's never like, to me, I'm just like, oh my God, it's T.I. Or in my head, I was like, oh my God, it's Nelly.
So you're a little starstruck.
So I'm like, yeah, but they're just, I don't never act like that because I
Okay.
don't want them to feel like I'm a groupie or like anything. I just like, I don't even say their name. I'm just like, what's up?
As long as you don't act it out, you're not
Yeah.
starstruck.
So, but it's just like, I don't want them to, I feel like if I was to act it out, then our interaction would have been completely different versus like me just treating them like a normal person. But T.I. was up there for a while and we was out talking, we was drinking together and everything. With Nelly didn't come to the lab. We went to So Def Studios.
Okay.
And we was up there with Jermaine Dupri, him, it was a bunch of people up there for that, and they was getting the wigs put on.
Okay.
All that happened in the So Def studio, and we was just there chilling. It was really dope. Like, and then right after that, his birthday party, cause that's what the outfits were for. So then we went to his birthday party at the bank, and we had a blast.
Okay,
yeah,
sweet.
It was dope.
Sweet. And do you also know, or you might have worked with Austin Rogers?
Yeah, Austin is super dope too.
I tried to get him on the show. I'm still trying to get him on the show. But I just think he's not ready yet. So I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna tell him that I talked to you. But no, he's really dope, man. He's another like humble person too, cause he's done a lot as well, especially working with Missy Elliott.
Because he's
everything.
still like up and coming too.
Yeah, he's still up and coming, but he's really dope. When I met him, cause I invited him to be the headline performer for the Art Awards.
Okay.
And then that's
Last year.
yeah,
Okay.
last year, yeah.
Okay.
So he performed at the Art Awards, and then that's when I formally met Kellen. We've met before, but he probably didn't know who I was until then officially.
Okay.
And ever since then, he's been cool. Like, we had like Christmas parties together, the Friendsmas, like the Thanksgiving parties.
Okay.
He's really dope.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So mental health in the Black community.
Mm.
What does that mean to you?
Please don't get me started.
I mean,
Mental health in the Black community. Where do I begin? I don't know. I feel like it's a lot. It's so many aspects of mental health and the Black community. If I had to pick somewhere to start, I would say. Like I feel like as Black people, we don't really see how our actions affect someone. We rarely see them in ourselves, but we see them in other situations. And that may sound vague, and you're probably like, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? But for example, like we talk about like the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I'm finna strike some nerves. Everyone loves saying like Black Lives Matter, and I'm a Black Lives Matter person too. It's not going where you think it's going.
I'm listening.
But I feel like if we want to say that, to me, it's like, okay, I'm acknowledging that as a Black person, like you're the equivalent. Your life is just important as anybody else, if not more. But I feel like when we say that, it matters until we talk about certain people. For example, like gay people. Or when we talk about like people who, like, it's kind of like, or like women, but like women that are like IG model women.
Okay.
We don't think about like Black Lives Matter and when we're like bullying like Lizzo for being body positive and things like that, or we don't think about Black Lives Matter when we're bullying like people that are homosexual or bisexual or whatever their pronouns are on social media. But those are all things that affect mental health. And it's like, okay, we talk about like this race that's killing us with guns, which is true, like that's valid, but we have to also like acknowledge the fact that, you know, we're killing each other, not with the guns more so, because people, I don't want them to think that's what I'm taking it. It's just more so of like our actions are leading to other things that are not good for our mental health.
Okay,
so,
I feel you.
Yeah.
That's a very broad subject. I can go on and on about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not just them killing us. We do kill our black on black crime as well. We rob, we steal. There's a lot of that going on. The cops in Memphis before them. That was a part, you know, a big part of it. So there's a lot. I can see all that. So what in regards to like double standards? Now there's a lot of double standards.
It is.
What's the biggest one that stands out to you? Because I feel like there's double standards with men and women. I feel like that's always going to be a thing. There's double standards with race. I think there's double standards in the black community, and then like being black, being a woman, and then being gay. I feel like that's like a standard in itself.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. One is more like acceptable, I guess, so to say.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to find out a professional way to say this because we're on air. The first thing I think of when I think of double standards, honestly though, is like people being comfortable in their sexual fluidity in regards to maybe the amount of partners they have. When it comes to like a female, it's like if a female does anything that's like not with her boyfriend, or she's entertaining someone but she's not dating him, then she's a hoe. But then a guy does it and it's like typically it's like, oh, like he's cool, or like, oh, he got all the bitches or something like that. And it's like that's the main double standard that I think of like off the top of my head, only because that's something that I've noticed like for a while. I don't really feel like anybody a hoe, really. I feel like like if that's what you enjoy, that's what you enjoy. But like that, who's to say, like who defines what that is, you know? Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay. So what about standards with black and white people?
Like white privilege? Is that what you're asking?
Pretty much.
Oh. Well, where do I even start with that? Like, where do we want to dive in at?
It's whatever. Like, we don't have too much time left, so we.
Okay, so with that,
8 minutes, really like less than that because we got to close up the show. So
got you. So with that, I would say like, I don't know. Everything is. I don't even know where to start with.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there's a lot of double standards going on. So so let's talk about equity versus equality.
Yes. This could be a part of the double standard too. I just feel like equity versus equality. So I feel like a lot of people don't understand exactly what that is as far as like equity and equality. And for me personally, I mean, I would want equity. I wouldn't want something to be equal. Equality just means that you're given the same thing as somebody else. So when it comes to conversations, this is typically what people of Caucasian descent use as a defense when black people talk about like slavery and this and that. It's like, oh, well, we both are born now. There's no racism. There's no this. There's no that. But like my great-great-granddad was a slave. Your great-great-granddad was maybe a carpenter or a blacksmith or something like that. So yeah, we're in the same position now, but when we think of like how far back we're really just starting, like from a few
Mhm.
years ago, you know, and like
Yeah.
you're coming from a generation of people who have had money, like you own slaves. So that's something that has to be taken into account when we think of like how we can move forward in a society. Like you
Mhm.
can't give us $1,000 or $10,000 and think that we're supposed to know how to start a business or do something like that when we're still trying to figure that out, versus someone who comes from a family where, you know, everybody in your family got businesses.
Right,
Trump got a
right,
whatever
right.
$1 million loan, and
They
then now
inherit
he's
a lot of the businesses.
yeah, exactly. So it's just, I feel like when it comes to equity, that should be taken into account, and then we should focus on like how to make something equitable and not just giving everyone the same resources, because it's not the same, because we have different backgrounds and like we come from different places.
Okay. Tell me got left. All right. So quickly, okay. What else do you like about fashion?
Fashion?
Yeah.
I like how fashion like makes you feel, you know? Like sometimes like, you know, like I don't know.
I know how it makes you
You
feel.
know,
Like
yeah,
when you
like-
put on clothes or
Yeah, you know, you feel like if I remember, I have a beret that I wear all the time with my shades, my black shades. If you know me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you can't tell me nothing like when I'm wearing this outfit. Like I feel like I'm Malcolm X. Like you
Yeah.
can't like, but that's just how I feel. And then you know, I don't know. It's just I love how you feel when you put on
Feel like
clothes
a
versus
superhero?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. One last thing. Then we'll
Okay.
wrap it up. All right. So art. So outside of fashion, like what other types of art do you like or do you admire?
Well, of course, music. Music
Okay,
is definitely
okay.
art. Music with meaning. So I listen to a lot of R&B, mainly
Okay.
like '90s, early 2000s.
Everybody is on that 90s.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
I
it's
don't
like-
understand it.
I think it's because of like what we get so much now. It's like you kind of like go back and appreciate that more when you do. But you do have your Jasmine Sullivans and Ari Lennox and SZA
Yeah.
and people. But I don't know. It's just they sung with purpose back then.
Okay.
And aside from music, I like paintings,
Okay.
sculptures, and performances,
Okay.
productions.
Okay.
Which is
And-
why I like Beyonce so much.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's what's
Yeah.
up. All right. So where could they find you? How can they support merch? Sign up for it. Just let them know everything that you want to leave the listeners with or the
Awesome.
viewers.
Awesome. Most definitely. So again, my name is Rashaad. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Rashaad. That's I am RASHAAD. Our brand's page is Burghalie. That's BURGHALIE. And check us out at burghalie.com.
All right. And you know where to find us, Vice_Tribe_ATL on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Vice Tribe on our YouTube channel, Vice Tribe ATL on our TikTok. Patreon is coming. Follow, like, subscribe, share, and retweet. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Vice Tribe, where we teach, reach, inspire, bridge, and empower the community here on WTT Radio, Atlanta's #1 alternative live streaming radio show. Until next time, peace.